Here's another old public domain horror comic story I downloaded from comicbookplus.com. From The Beyond #1 by Ace Comics, here's The Phantom Puppet. Peter Lucas, the famous puppet master, could make his puppets do everything but breathe. In fact, his puppetry had reached such a pinnacle of art that only life itself remained unattainable. Or was it? Lucas got the answer to this question in blood-curdling accents. Nor was there any retreat from the horror his vanity had loose on London and on himself. And now, varlet, die as the dog you are. Donna Anna, I kiss your fair hand. The scoundrel who murdered your father is no more. This Lucas fellow is a genius. His puppets look so real. And thus ends another fascinating puppet show written, directed, and enacted by the one and only Peter Lucas. Come out, Mr. Lucas, take a bow. Pip, pip, hooray! Hooray for Peter Lucas! Wait a minute. Pip, pip, hooray? Isn't that supposed to be hip, hip, hooray? Yeah, whatever. Bravo! What is to be your next engagement, Mr. Lucas? My show for Scotland Yard, where I hope to spring a real surprise for our police force. Later, when Lucas reached his London flat, it was a wonderful show, Mr. Lucas. I saw it on my set. Thank you, Miss Brudge. I am not to be disturbed now by anyone. No one is to come upstairs. Tell your husband no drunken quarreling. I must concentrate. Who in blazes does he think he is? Ordering people around. He's off his crock, that's what. Going mad in that workshop of his. Living with his blasted puppets. Shh, Edgar. He'll hear you. And he has a frightful temper when he's mad. That's funny. I distinctly remember leaving the police benefit show puppet on the work table. Now it's gone. Here it is, on the chair. Who put it there? Mrs. Brudge must have been up to her prying again. Played with the puppet and was stupid enough to not put it back where she found it. Mrs. Brudge! Mrs. Brudge! What do you mean by monkeying around with my puppets? I told you 1,000,000 times nobody is to come up here. But I didn't go upstairs, Mr. Lucas. Don't you remember? You even changed the lock on your door. Nobody but you has the key. That's true. Yet somebody must have moved the puppet. Good heavens. Now he's on the work table again. Did I just imagine he was on the chair? What's wrong with me? It must be overwork. Nervousness. I see things that aren't there. I want this puppet to be my masterpiece. To be almost human. A diminutive mortal. In this puppet, I want to reincarnate the soul of England's most infamous murderer, Jack the Ripper. He must be so perfectly constructed that he'll almost have a soul of his own. He must shock those Scotland Yard boys at the benefits. Yow! My leg! The puppet. He stabbed me with his scissors. But how could he? Unless... Yes, that's the only way. I must have touched some wires and brought about a mechanical reflex. I can swear there's a gleam of satisfaction in his glass eyes, a malevolence in his expression, as if he enjoyed stabbing me. Yes, this Jack the Ripper puppet will be my masterpiece. He will be as close to human as wood, paint, and wire can get. Tonight, benefit for retired patrolmen of Scotland Yard, featuring the great Lucas and his puppets. Gentlemen of Scotland Yard, the main attraction of my show tonight is a character well known to you. The only criminal who ever eluded your iron clutch. that dastardly, maniacal killer, the one and only Jack the Ripper. Ha ha, he's cute. Let's see him in action. Marvelous. You asked for action and you're going to get it. I will show you tonight how Jack the Ripper accomplished some of his most heinous murders. And now Jack the Ripper speaks for himself. Ah, a pretty unescorted maiden with a slender white throat. Prepare to die, my pretty, for you have come face to face with Jack the Ripper. The strong man cannot protect himself. All must perish, young and old. Nor can the spectacle of beauty stay my hand, the hand of a master criminal who loves only death. Enough. This is in bad taste. The man mocks us. Lucas must be mentally sick to put on a performance like this. The puppet is moving without the benefit of my wire pulling. Those are his words, not mine. He's gone berserk. On his own. Nobody can catch me. I'm too clever. Take him off. They don't understand I'm alive, eh, puppet maker? But we shall keep the pretense going. We shall pretend once more that you control me. He's talking to me. He's alive. Stop the show. Moments later, I beg your pardon for any offense I may have given. After a brief intermission, we will continue with the romance of Romeo and Juliet. That's much better. For a moment, Lucas, we thought you had lost your mind. 2 hours later, in Lucas's dressing room, it's a definite paranoid tendency. It comes over many artists. The desire to wield ruthless power. That's what may have motivated that performance. They think your mind snapped, Lucas. That you're carrying your control over puppets to insane lengths. But we know the truth, eh? An hour later, in Lucas's workshop. Now, I'm going to take you apart, piece by piece, and see where I made my mistake. I know I'm not crazy, and yet you seem to have a life of your own. Fool! You put the soul of Jack the Ripper into my wooden heart, and I shall not rest until I have killed in reality. Oh, you murdering little devil! You've stabbed me! For years you lorded it over us puppets, making us dance and sing, laugh and cry, as you pulled the wires. But now I'll pull a few tricks of my own. Come back, you little monster! From tonight forward, at the scene of every Jack the Ripper murder, another corpse will be found. Victims of the puppet you brought to life. Lucas ran from his room and... Mr. Lucas, we heard you screaming and running around upstairs. Is something wrong? Ow! Out of my way, you idiot. My puppet escaped. He's going to repeat all the Jack the Ripper murders. I've got to stop him. Is puppet escaped? I tell you he was off his crock. Jack, come back. Don't kill anybody. They'll only blame me. Jack! Yeah, I think that's the idea. They're going to blame you. Later that night, all we heard was a scream. Then we found him like this. His throat cut. I'm too late. Gives me the shivers, it does. It's like the first murder Jack the Ripper committed. Right here in the same doorway. Aye, Lucas, nothing can stop me now. Who'd believe that a puppet, a mere hunk of wood and wire, could kill? Ha ha! Read the papers. Follow my bloody career, for their blood is on your hands. No! No! Hours later, Lucas returned from a weary night's search. Huh, he's here again. Can it be a dream? Is Nocturnal coming and going? Got you baffled, eh? Good. Now you're under my control. Ha ha! I'm not like you, requiring sleep and rest. I can always watch you, but you can't watch me. Fall asleep, Lucas, and see what happens. Ha ha! I must be going mad. Things like this can't happen. But they did happen, or at least so it seemed to Lucas. I'm back from the hunt. Young girl this time. She screams so sweetly. What am I going to do? I'm powerless. Unknown murderer slays again. Peddler killed in saloon. Lord Fenwich murdered outside. This can't go on. I'll go to the police. Soon. But it's true. He's on the loose, I tell you. The puppet's responsible for all these killings. Take it easy, sir. Puppets aren't alive. They don't walk under their own power. Why don't you see a doctor for a nerve tonic? They won't believe me. They think I'm crazy. Yet the puppet must be destroyed. But how can I destroy him? Minutes later, as Lucas opened the door of his workshop, You! That knife! I've been waiting for you, Lucas. The point is poisoned. In 5 minutes you'll be dead. Your days of tyranny over puppets will be ended. I'll destroy you. I'll bolt all the doors. All the windows. You can't escape. I'll burn the house down and you with it. Kerosene will make this house blaze like a furnace in a minute. I'll destroy you forever. No, the fire's coming closer. Yay! Lucas, stop it! Did you hear all that screaming upstairs before we ran out, Edgar? It sounded like 2 people in Mr. Lucas's workshop. Maybe he did think he was 2 people at the same time. A crazy lunatic imagining all kinds of things. Who knows? Yes, who knows? Was all this horror merely in the twisted brain of the puppet master? It all seemed so real to Peter Lucas, but perhaps he was just a raving lunatic, projecting his own split personality to his puppet creation and imagining it lived. Perhaps Lucas himself was the fiendish murderer, roaming the London streets in search of victims. Aye, who can unravel the dark mysteries of this strange world? The end. Oh, by the way, mental illness doesn't actually work like that.